Friends, welcome back. Now we are going to continue our NextJS project series. So it's almost a week. I have not created any video, but it's okay. So let's continue and let's not waste time. So here, what we are going to do. So we have created sign in, sign up, right? We have a page, and what we are going to do, we are going to create the post. For that, we need a form to submit the post and an API to accept the post and save in database, right? So let's start quickly. So I'm gonna create a form first, and here we are. So here, this is our project as it is. Within pages we have post, and we have created these stuffs while learning Next.js, right? So let's ignore that and let's create a file. I'm gonna say, so we are going to add a class container. So we'll have some space on the page as normal. So we'll say container, and instead of post create, let's copy these things. Here we'll place a curly braces, and then we'll type this. Now let's copy this one again and use a variable. So we'll say style post create, save, see the style is getting applied or not. Okay, so style applied over here. You can see there's this little spacing around the text, and that's nice. Let's change it. We'll say margin hyphen bottom 10 pixel, so it will be even, right? So bottom 10 pixel worked. Now we will apply from the top and bottom. So here we go, and style index.js. Here's a row, and here's a container. Post create, post create, and here I say margin from top and bottom 10 pixel, from left right 0, from left right let's have auto. Okay, so here we are, and the spacing is perfect. Now we'll place a title also. So before the row we are gonna say div, place a class name row, and then this will place a div again, class name equals to column, and here we'll say h1 too much divs, just for looks unnecessary, but as we are using bootstrap we can't do anything. So here we are gonna say create your news or post. So here we got create news, but I will not use the h1 because we already have a logo, I guess h1. Simply say h2, and so it will be a little bit smaller, right? Create news, and then enter the news title, description, choose the image, and then show the image. Okay, so here we are going to, for the file, we are going to do a little bit of handling over here. we need the image, right? So on change, here we're gonna write simple function, say handle image, copy this function, let's go over here, pass handle image, event. Now let's extract the image. So we'll say file event dot target dot files and then 0. Okay, so this is an input array which gives and we want the first item, so that is actually the file. And here we can simply say console.log and let's drop the file. Let's see how it is working. Let's go to the console. Let's choose a file. So let's choose an image. Downloads, yeah, this one. So open it. And here is the image, right? So we got the image, right? Size, type, and everything. And so finally we got the image. Now we'll create a file reader. So now we will use a file reader class from JavaScript to get the image, right? To get the raw image so I can display in front of user. He has selected some user image, right? They simply const, and here we're gonna say file and reader equals to new file reader. So this is file reader, and here we're gonna say file reader dot on load. So we'll create a function, and here we're gonna say, so we want a file, right? So here we're gonna say event, and here we're gonna say we'll create a input const, say image set image equals to use state, and then we'll say null. Initially it will be null. So here we're gonna say set image, and here we're gonna say event dot target dot result. So result will give me the image raw data, right? Next we're gonna say file. So we have to transform this to binary image so we can show over in our input image tag dot read as data URL, read as data or read as binary string, read as data URL, pass the file, right? So this is a file. Now it's done, and here just to see in the console are we getting the right input or not, we'll say console log and e dot target dot result. Now save this, let's go to the browser and let's choose an image, open this, and we got the basics work. Now this is something we can show over the screen, but we are not going to send this heavy data to the server, right? Because it will make our payload heavier and difficult to transfer send it, right? So what I'm going to do here, I will simply create one more state variable. We'll say here we'll say image input, and we'll set image input use state, and here we're gonna say null, and here simply we'll go and say set image input, and we'll say file. So this one we can send over the form, right? For the form, and this one we can use to display over the screen, right? So here's the file, and within this column I will create one more column, div last name call, and here I say image and src, and here we'll say image, right? Because this is what we are saving over here, right? Set image. So this is, we got the image. Let's specify the width and height. Style, say width, say 100 pixel. Save this. Now let's try this thing is working or not. Also, we need to have a check images, like if image exists, then only we are gonna add that image, show that image. Otherwise, we are not going to show it, right? Save this, and let's go and check this thing. Let's choose file, pick the image, open it, and here we got it. So here we are. This is our image. It's working fine, right? Awesome. Now we have to get the title and description, and then form input, image input. and then we are going to send it to the server. So we'll say where is our form. Okay, so we haven't created any form. We can either wrap these inputs within the form, or we can use directly this button, like on click of this we can trigger the form, right? So I'd like to have a form that makes that is going to look good. So here within this row I will say form, and these are the divs. Okay, so this is our form. Let's have on submit equals to, here say handle form data. Let's copy this and let's write another function, handle form data takes an event, and here I say event dot prevent default to avoid the default behavior of the browser. And next we're gonna say let's create our payload or form equals to, okay, so we have to create the form object. We'll say new form data, and we'll say form dot append. So here we're gonna say title, and of course we need to have some inputs so to hold the title and then and the body of the news, right? So you say title set title equals to use state, and here you say title. Sorry, that is going to be a string. We don't have title. And here we're gonna say description or body. Okay, description, and that's again an empty string. And here you're gonna say for the input here we're gonna say, let's uncomment this. I'm gonna say title and set title, and here we're gonna say okay. So now we can say title form dot append, and then here we're gonna say description, and also we want image, so form dot append. We're gonna say image. That's a key input key image, and then we have created a state variable that's image input. Let's say image input. Okay, so this is our form, and we're going to send this form, right? So let's go to the client side, and here is the request.js file. Let's copy this function. Let's copy this one, paste over here. Here we're going to say create post, and the base URL as it is. Here we're going to create API. So we are going to say post slash create. So this is our API. And here we're going to have form. Instead of payload, we'll say form. And again, this is a post request. That is fine. And whatever, we're going to return the data. So this is our create post. Now let's also create the API in the post. We have the create. So first we need to disable the body parser of Next.js because it is going to parse the JSON data, right? So simply say export const config equals to, I'm gonna say body parser, or just going to check over the internet, Next.js body parser, and here is this. So we'll simply disable the body parser because I want to get a form data, not the JSON data, right? So here we are, and this is our body parser API and body parser false. So now our body parser is false. Let's format this. Okay, so here we are using this handler function, and let's remove everything from here. Now we also have to use something to handle the image, right? We want our image to be saved in our project. Okay, and for that we need a library that's a multer. So I'm going to show you how we can use a multer and save our images in our local system, right? Or in the server. So for that, let's go to the webscript.info and find a post. So you can go and simply, you can find the link in the description, right? So how to upload image using multi library. So basically this is going to work. This works very well with the Express. And I will show you how you can use same stuff with the Next.js, right? So how it works, this you can use this multi library as a middleware, and you can pass this middleware within the routes, right? So if you're using Express, then you may using slash API, and after that you can pass this middleware, and then your next function, that's a controller, will handle the request. Okay, so let's copy this settings, and before that we need to install this multi library. So let's copy this, and let's open the terminal to install that. And say let's hit enter. Now it's installing. Let's go and check the packages, and do we have already multi? No, we don't have. So it's installing now. Let it install, and again let's go to the create code.js file, and now we are going to paste this. Sorry, let's copy this one. So this is a basic configuration required if you want to work with multi. Like basic setup where you want to save your images, right? So you have to specify the destination of your images and from where it is coming, and the file name and the stuffs you can modify. So these are the callbacks, and this is a multi library. So let's import the multer. Import multer. So installation complete. Now we have multer from the multer, and we are using this multer, which takes an object, and this is a property storage which is required, and destination where you want to save this image. So you can save anywhere wherever you want, right? So basically you have to specify a path over here, path to destination. So where you want to save, you have to specify that path, right? So you can use path dot join to create a path, and if you say process dot cwd, that means current working directory. So here it is process or CW. It's it means current working directory. So basically the current working directory means not this directory. It will give you the root, means newsx, right? And here I want to save within this public. I want to create a folder like uploads. So you have to pass a second parameter, that's uploads, and then within that we are going to save, right? So actually not public, yeah, we have to say public, and here we're going to pass second parameter, that's uploads. So it will create a uploads folder within this public directory, and it will and it will save the images within that directory. Okay, let's save this, and okay, so this is our destination, and our file name will be, so basically this looks fine to me. I can use a getTime function to make a unique image name or file name. So append with hyphen and then the original file name, whatever the original user has given as an input. Okay, so this is our multer, right? Now the question is how we are going to use this middleware with our Next.js, right? With our handler function. So there is no way you can write like app.views and then pass the middleware, because this Next.js doesn't work like that. So what we are going to do, we are going to install another library which is going to help us in doing the same stuff, right? So that is next connect. Say next hyphen connect, hit enter, and so this is our next connect library, and looks so empty right now. So you can simply go to the home page of this, like repository here, GitHub, and here you can find some explanation how to use this library, right? So let's first install this library. So let's copy this, And here let's add enter, hit hyphen save. So now it's installing Next Connect. We can get some configuration from there. So this is our handler function. Let's copy this and replace this. Okay, so here we're going to use this on the top. Go ahead and paste over here. Okay, next connect. And this is our handler function. So this is our handler function, next connect. So this function handles error, and if nothing match with this route, then it will simply give you an error. That's a 404 page not found. And then use method, and here we need to pass the middleware. So I will simply pass the middleware. That's our middleware upload, right? And I'm gonna use a single file one time. So single is a method from the multer itself, and the input name. So input name I have given in my form, that is image. So we go and cross check. So this is the input name. Let's copy this and paste over here. Next thing is required, the method. Which method you want to use? You want to use push method to submit this form. And now we can have a function to handle the data. So here it is like that, request response. Let's copy this and paste over here. So here is the request, here's the response, and you can send the response if you get the data, right? So let's format this thing again. Okay, let's try this working or not. So simply we'll go and check the right data are we getting or not. Let me say res dot status. Let's say 201 dot json, and we'll simply pass the request. Okay, so whatever the request we got, we'll pass that. And we have to export this function. That's a default function. Export default say handler. The whole request, I'll simply say body request dot body. Okay, so now let's try this. Okay, so we got this title and description. Also, I will try to have the file. I think that's request dot file. Say send the request. And yes, so file also, we got the file and it has uploaded also. So we go and check the uploads folder. Here we are, 3 different files. So it has uploaded the file. Yep, so it's working fine. Okay, so let's delete all of them because those no posts are there right now. So move to trash. Now we go and write our function to handle this request. Okay, so first we'll check if user is valid or not, right? User is authenticated or not. So I will simply say const session equals to wait and get session, and this required a request object. So it will tell us the session is valid or not. And if I'm using a wait, then I must use async. And if I'm using a wait, then I must use try and catch to handle the error. So catch in here and say error. And let's take this stuff inside. Okay, so this is our session, and if session not valid, this is not a valid session, we'll simply give the error. Okay, handler, error handler, and here we're going to say data that is going to be access denied, and then response, and else come over here and let's take this stuff inside because this is also unnecessary. So let's comment it out. We handle the error. Now we are going to handle the data. So we'll get the data, that is the title and description, right? So we need to have a model also, right? So we need to create a file within the models, and here we're going to say post.js, And here we create our model, right? So I will simply import mongoose, not mongo, mongoose from mongoose, mongoose from mongo. Here I'm going to add my post schema. So this is this one. So simply create a variable post schema using mongoose schema object, pass the properties. So I need to pass title, right? Type of this title is string and required true, and then slug of the news, right? And here is the type of the string required true, and then description of the news or post, whatever you want to call it. So description and type is required true, image is required, right? Basically here we're going to save the URL of the image. The So basically here we're going to save URL of the image. And then finally the most important one, user, like who is creating the post, right? If I'm creating a post, then my ID needs to be saved, and this is a foreign key, and the type of this key is object ID. So simply type mongoose schema types and object ID. Reference is the user table. So this is the mongoose collection is the reference, right? So it will simply make a connection and use that user as a foreign key. So this is a foreign key. Timestamps true, so it will by default add created and updated at time. Mongoose models equals to empty object, because if you have watched my previous videos, you know the reason of it. And then we are passing this schema so we can use it. Save this post, and let's go to the post create.js file, and here we're going to say we're going to create the post. We'll say const and post equals to new post, and let's make this thing capital P, and also update here. It's a small p, it's a capital P. That's a model post, or all the models will have uppercase, right? Capital P. And here we need to pass the values. So what we are going to pass? So we need to pass title, slug, image, URL, and user ID. So many things, right? So let's get the user ID. I'm gonna say const, and let's say ID equals to session dot ID. So let's verify that. Let's go to the API auth, next auth, and here we are. And here let's find out the ID is actually ID or underscore ID. What is that? So token.id, session.id. So it's just session.user.id. Okay, cool. So that was a mistake. Let's go to create post, and here we're gonna say session.user.id. So here we got our ID, and that's actually user ID, right? And here we are gonna pass the object. Basically, here we can pass request dot body, and also we need to pass the slug, because we have to create the slug, and I think we have installed Slugify for that. Do we have Slugify? Okay, we don't have Slugify, and we have to install a library Slugify, and we can install upon save Slugify. Okay, now I'm going to tell you how you can create a slug for your post or news. So simply go to the web script again, and you can find the link in the description. So here we are, and how to create slug URL. Okay, so here you can simply, after installing Slugify, you can use this Slugify function like this. So let's copy this, and where is our post? Okay, let's go to the create index.js. Okay, not this one. We are here, right? And here we're gonna say, slug const slug, and instead of how to create, I will pass our own string. And the second is and the second parameter is the object, which specify what needs to be removed from the URL. I don't want any special characters, so I've given a regular expression to eliminate those special characters. And the first will be, again, I will use a title as a slug. So here the title, and then it will create a slug. Okay, title, and the title is coming from the request dot body dot title. Okay, request dot body dot title, and this is our slug, and we don't have this slug. Next we have user, right? So we'll simply say user and then user ID post, and we'll say user and then we'll say user ID, right? What else we have? So we have added title, slug, and description, right? Title, slug, description. Image is not there, so we need an image. So let's go to the post again, and after the slug, we'll say image, and the image will be actually we're getting this, right? Request.file, yeah, request.file, and if you go and check the postman, so here we have this file name, right? Let's copy or this destination. So we'll simply use this one, file name request.file.file name. So here we'll say const URL equals to request.file.file name, but we have to give a base URL also, right? And for that we'll create the base URL. So let's copy this thing, static resource URL, static resource URL 3000 API slash, not API, that's the public folder, and then we'll say uploads slash. Okay, so uploads and slash, and here we're gonna update that thing. Okay, loads and slash, save this. Let's go to the create post, and here, where is the API? Here we're gonna say static source URL plus request.file.file name. So let's copy this URL and let's give it here. Yeah, I have given the extra object. Let's copy this, cut it from here. Let's remove this additional object, and now let's paste. Okay, still a problem. What is wrong with this? Title, comma. Yeah, this is fine now. So remove is this. We have the post. Now we are gonna save this post, right? We'll simply say const and save post equals to await, and then we'll say post dot save, right? Now if save post worked, means if it is saved successfully, then we're going to give the response, right? Say response handler, and say save post, and then response. Else, if something wrong happened, then we'll give the error handler, and we'll say whatever the error, say save post and response. And if there is an error, the error handler will say error and then response. Okay. Also, we need to get the database connection, right? We'll say wait get db connect. So database connection we have got, right? So the database connection is there. Save this. Now let's try this thing working or not. Okay, so let's go to the postman and let's try to send the request. Correct, access denied. Very true, because we are using postman and we have not done any setup for it. So now let's hit this thing with the form, right? So hopefully that there it is gonna work. So where it is, so here is our create index file, and we are going to send the form, right? We'll say create post, and here we're gonna pass this form, and this is gonna return a promise. We'll say const, and then result equals to await, and as this is this needs to be an async function, right? And here I can say console.log and then result. Cool. Save this and try this thing. So let's go to the browser and here is our next. Let's hit the enter. So let's first do the sign in and use hash and then password. Sign in. So we are signed in successfully. Okay, now let's go to the post page. And there 404, actually this is post slash create. Okay, so this is our post page. Here is my first news title. Okay, something. Let's choose a file. Pick this guy, Ramsey, open, and let's clear the console. Now let's hit submit, and we got the result. Let's open this. Uh, so here you can see result error message. There is nothing inside it, but for Postman it was access denied, so that was a different error message. But here we are getting something different. I also got confused. So yeah, so here error message is because of different reason, and user is the post is also creating. If you go and check in the MongoDB, query results 0. So we have to find out what's the error. Let's go and check the terminal. Okay, and I just logged the session and it's working fine. So the session is there and let's remove this. Okay, so here we have this and this Slugify also needs to be imported. So we say import Slugify. Yep, Slugify, and so we got the connection, we got this source static resource URL, then got Slugify, body, save. Let's try again. And let's clear this console. Let's hit submit and then see the result. Has error false. Okay, that's the only reason we were getting the error. Slugify was not defined. Now here we got our image post details, right? That's a user, this is a user ID, and this is the time updated title, and then slug, whatever the title is there, slug is same, and then image. So if you go and check this image, let's copy and paste over here. Let's remove the quotes and identify it's working or not. Hit enter. And yes, so our image is also working. So we can fetch these images very easily, right? So let's see, do we have any other things to fix? Let's remove this one. We can also add a validate function because we may have some invalid inputs, right? Or no inputs, and then still we will execute these code. So let's validate that too. So I'm gonna say validate all once and then pass the object that is the title. I will simply say const and then request dot body, and here we'll say title comma description, and here we'll say title description. Okay, if there is an error, then it will throw error, and then catch block will handle that error. Let's go and check the post model. Post model, and here it is description. Fine. So let's seems like this is fine. This will work well. Let's go and validate the stuff over here. So we'll simply remove this title and try to submit this. And we got result, and then open the result. Has error true, error message, title required. And in database, we will have something, right? We'll have the first record only, not the second one. So here's our record. This is the first post we have created successfully. So let's go and validate that. Let's go to the form and not sign up, and we'll go create. And here we'll create a variable to handle that, to show the error. Const error message, and we'll say set error message, use state and empty string, and here is our result. If result dot has error, if has error true, then we'll say set error message, and say result dot what's that, go over here and result dot error message. Cool. And else we'll remove the inputs. Say set title, set description, and then set image input null, set image, here I'll say null. Okay, and then set error message also empty string. And if we have an error, then we'll show the error. And what's that? Let's get it from the sign up. Yeah, this one. Let's copy this and paste over here. So error message, if there is an error message, then we'll show the error message. That's all. Save. Let's go and check. Submit. You can also have the client-side validation. Before sending the request to the server, you can validate these inputs and show the error. So you can save other request and time, right? So yes, that you can do, but let's go with it. That's fine. This is working fine. Let's have it idle. I'm good with it. And let's hit enter. Not description required. Thank you for watching my videos. Okay, if I hit submit, then it will save it, right? But again, it will break because we don't have the image, and it will try to find the image. Let's try to see what's happened. Submit. Yeah, as I suspected. So this is not working. Has error, set error message not handled. Let's go and have a check in the API. Image is also mandatory. So here we go, and to validate all once, we'll go if, and here's a request file and request.file. That's all. We'll throw our error response into error handler, and here say add events. Select image for your use. Okay, and then pass the response. Request.file equals undefined. Okay, select image for your news. It's working now. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Let's remove this. So this is working absolutely fine. Hopefully it will not create any problem in the future, and if, then I will be there. Do not worry. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.